You said if it was like me. Writing is sometimes wrong. Isn't that the end? Have you guys heard of a word? Well, it's called keeping up with the times. The former Pakistani freight industry. What about most of the vehicles? They are all integrated vehicles. What is an integrated car? You are like the 4 bridges of 9.6 meters. The 9 meter 6'3" bridges. There are also double bridges of 9.6 meters. Let me put it more intuitively. It's something like for meters 26 meters 8. The overall model. In recent years, after many 8 brothers came to China, I found that our country is basically, there are very few in this car as a whole. Only for point to meters blue card. He can go into the city, so he is whole. It's basically a large transport vehicle on the road. He's a trailer. So that's it. They are also looking in this direction. Of course, it doesn't mean that there are no integrated models. All brothers who have run through the freight industry should know. Now, indeed, that's the world of trailers. What about today's video? It's a video of making a trailer. Of course, although there are many kinds of semi-trailers. But what about him in general? It can be divided into 2 types. The first one is lab quiz. It doesn't matter if it is a high bar or a lower box board. What about the other one? He's the one who pulls sand and gravel. Do you see it? When welding key parts, something to use. Has it changed? It actually uses to welding. This is in Pakistan. Well, it's relatively rare. After all, they still focus on handlebar welding. However, Erbao welding has one advantage. Even if the technology is a little worse, the weld forming effect is also very good. Of course, in Pakistan, as long as it is a car engaged in the freight industry, no one is not overloaded. Maybe that's not accurate. They have no bidet at all. So I can only pack as much as possible. Pack it until it can't be packed. As long as the front of the car can still be pulled, then there's no problem, right? Okay, you can see it. Now what about this incredibly sturdy beam? Hey, it's already made. The beam is also welded in place. Some friends may say, this trailer is watching from the sky. Although this beam is quite outrageous, but this length doesn't feel long enough. Oops. This of course has something to do with its purpose. This is not what we usually see. 13 meters of this trailer. It's rather short probably. I feel that 9 meters 6 may not be enough after the main body of the girder is welded. So this is an extension above the girder. The support structure? You all know what that means. Mainly, this panel is attached to this layer. On the structure, first of all, is this U-shaped steel? And there are a lot of gaps in the U-shaped steel. What about these channels with a slightly smaller width? Into the gap. Then it is welded and fixed. The support structure at the bottom, even if it is in place. What do you mean by that? Except for the waist welding rod, there's not much high-tech. So what? Everyone can see. The thickness of this girder is still rather outrageous. It's just that this cargo box is not long enough. Why is the length not that long? Trailer is trailer, but not necessarily all. A big hanging as long as 13 meters. Right, okay, what's next? Of course, it is a base plate welding. There's nothing to say about that. Direct, welded to the support structure above the girder. That's it. This is probably what it looks like after welding. The support structure at the bottom, after all, is made. Next up must be the surrounding panels. This is mainly in terms of materials. What if the material of the box plate is too thick? Is this box automatic? It will be too big and too thin. When it is possible to pack some materials, will deform. So say how? The box board is mainly structural. Can you see it? This thing is not just a slab. There's a lot of soldering on the outer edge. These channels with wider diameters? This structure is mainly useless. Prevent the box plate from being carried by heavy weight. This situation occurs when the box is deformed and increased. What is an increase in the box? After packing too much, a big bag bulged in the middle. That's not ugly and crying, right? Hey, so what about the outside of the box board? There's lots of support structures like that to prevent the deformation of the box plate. What's next? As you can see, position adjustment with a hand-pulled hoist. It's the baffle at the front of the cargo box. See the yellow cylinder underground? Judging by the ride, this cylinder should not be brand new. Otherwise, it is the all cylinder of the second-hand dismantling car. That is from some secondhand all cylinders purchased from other countries. Hey, is this possible? Brothers, although they can rub the oil tank by themselves. But the big all cylinders used on vehicles, the technical requirements are still relatively high. Maybe they can't do it. Of course, just put this cylinder. Install it on the front of this cargo box. This time, brothers in the room should have seen it. What kind of cargo box is he? That's right, it's a trailer. To be more precise, this is one. Dump trailer. Everyone what? We often see them repairing all cylinders. It's the kind of cylinder that bends. Do you want to repair it? How about cars? Most of them have mid-tops. It can also be called a sleeping roof. This is different. Directly in front. This structure, that is our country so far. Pulling sand and gravel? What's next? It's welded girders. These suspension parts at the bottom. There's nothing to see here. Let's walk by, then install a board yellow with an absurd thickness. Next up is the axle. How about this structure? Placement method and thickness of board yellow. It is indeed different from our country. Don't believe it. You can find a trailer on the main road. Get down and take a look. The main detail is the bridge. Look at the letters. At first glance, it looks a lot like Fuhua Bridge. It must have come from our country. But how do I feel about this thing looking at the details? Something's not right. Do you guys think this is right? Fuhua. It seems to mean that UH. I don't know if you guys. How many people work in the sourcing industry? You can say, is this bridge serious? Okay. Of course, it is to start the appearance treatment. This is in Pakistan. It's sort of a very important component in our country. And of course, it doesn't matter what it looks like. As long as there is a color, there is a color. The red, the green, the yellow, and the white, just about there. But in Pakistan, the color of this carriage is more important. What do you mean? This can be summarized as follows if you do. For a cargo owner, want to hire a car for transportation? What about first? You will see if the decoration of this car is luxurious enough. Is it pretty enough? This is in their minds. It can be reflected on the side. Does the driver take good care of the vehicle? Do you value it? If you love the car, you must also love the goods. Right, that's probably what it means. You don't think the repeated patterns on the vehicle, stickers and this colorful painting, just for bells and whistles. If you think so, that doesn't make sense. So here we go. Do a series of hand drawings. The decal just now, all brothers have seen it too. In the past, these patterns were all based on the current one, hand-drawn way of writing. But patterning is a craft, and the pay is also relatively high. Print it out the way you make an ad. Keep posting. Then when the decal is directly attached to the car, this saves a lot of time and effort. But some parts still have to be hand-painted, made to complete. I still say that. It looks complicated. This bend and that ditch. This circle. And it's not written in one stroke. Write such a line of words. Really need some technology. Of course, the letters on the car, or some other name. Where is it drawn? It still needs to be made manually. His hand is really not so stable. If I had to write it, it would be a mess. Alright, after a long series of operations, this box is finally made and this one is still there. The letters above are also there. I have no eyes. If it is a flower, it should be the head of Dongfeng. Dongfeng 340,340 horsepower pulls such a big dump box. That's not going to be enough for you a little bit. But the front of their car, generally, the horsepower is relatively small because there is no high horsepower.